we are discussing the concept heredity and evolution. In the previous classes, we studied about the theories of evolution proposed by Charles Darwin, Lamarck and Auguste Weismann. Now in this class, we will see how the new species are formed. Here if you see microevolution, evolution is formation of origin of new species in due course of time. That is microevolution, small changes within the species. For example, in the previous class we have studied some example about the red beetle population and green beetle population. In the red beetle population, suddenly we have seen a green color is arose, and that green color is suitable with the surroundings. That's why the green population can develop better than the red population. Such a change, that is the color of beetle, such a small change like in the color of the beetle, that we call as microevolution. Then what is macroevolution or speciation? Here the process of formation of one or more new species from the existing one by evolutionary changes is called as speciation. For example, if you see in the same case, that is in the red beetle population, suddenly green beetle is arose, and here both the beetles can cross with each other, can mate with each other, and they can have their offspring because they have only minor changes. But here suddenly think that because of some geographical isolation or maybe some other reasons, if these two beetles are separated, for example, when a crow is eating the red beetles, suddenly some crows have taken the red beetles and they dropped somewhere else which is far away from the original place. And here there the red beetles are developing and here the green beetles are developing. And this day, after long years, there are many changes in these two populations, in the red beetle population also and in green beetle population also. Suddenly, if a red beetle population is made with the green beetle population, but they cannot breed, they cannot mate with each other because of lot of variations in the meantime. Whatever happened in their bodies, it does not allow them to mate with each other. Then we can say that here two different population, two different species are formed in the beetle. So that what we say macroevolution or speciation. We are telling that evolution of organisms takes place. However, whatever the scientists propose, they need evidences or proofs. In the same way, evolution of organisms also requires evidences. Now we will discuss some of the evidences of evolution. For the first, we will go with the homologous organs. What is meant by homologous organs? Organs of same origin and structure but of different functions are called homologous organs. This type of evolution is called divergent. What is meant by homologous organs we will see. Here, for example, if you observe four limbs of different vertebrates, you can take a bat, a whale, a cheetah, a mole and a man. If you observe these vertebrates, if you observe the arrangement, if you observe the pattern of arrangement of bones, they are showing the basic design. That means all these four limbs, all these vertebrates, four limbs, if you are observing, the arrangement of bones is similar. That means the basic design is similar, though they are showing different functions. For example, if you see, bat is using its limbs for flying, a whale is for swimming, and a cheetah for running, a mole for digging, and a man for grasping the things. Here, the function may vary between these organisms, but they are showing the basic design, common basic design. That means the arrangement of bones, the structure and the origin is similar. This says that all these vertebrates have originated from a common ancestor. That's why they are showing the basic patterns. That means all these vertebrates, as they are showing common origin and structure, we can guess that they may have originated from the common ancestor. And here, from a single species, if many species are formed, that is diverged from a single species, many species are diverged here. That means many species of vertebrates are formed. That's why such type of evolution is called as divergent evolution. Now we'll see analogous organs. Organs of different origin and structure but functionally similar are called analogous organs. For example, wings of insects, birds and bats. If you see the wings of insects, the insect wing is made up of exoskeleton and made of chitin. And if you see a bat, it has stretched skin between the elongated fingers, that what we call patagia. And if you observe a bird, the entire arms are filled with the feathers. That means here they are structurally different, but they look similar because of their common function. So in these organisms, the wings, they are showing common function, that is the flying. So such type of organs are called as homologous organs, that means organs of different origin and different structure but functionally similar are called as analogous organs. And this the existence of analogous organs indicated the convergent evolution. That means here, though they have structurally dissimilar but they are looking similar, that is convergent. They are looking similar because of their having their similar function. Their origin is different, their structure is different, but they are looking similar because of their common function. So that represents the analogous organs. Another example also you can see fins of fishes and flippers of the whales. Now we will see evidences from embryology. What is meant by embryology? Embryology is the study of development of an organism from egg to the adult stage. That is the embryology. Even embryology is also providing evidences for evolution. In what way we will see? For example, if you observe the tadpole larva of a frog, it resembles a fish but not like its adult. You already observed somewhere in the ponds, and even in the 8th class you have an activity of observing the tadpole larva of the frog. They resembles the fish but not like a adult frog. This says that frog and fish have evolved from the common ancestor. Like that, if you observe the developmental stages of different embryos from all vertebrates, that means from the fishes to the mammals, if you observe the embryos developmental stages, all these embryos look alike. That means we are finding many similarities in the structure of these embryos. What this indicates? Even a eminent embryologist cannot be identified. That means what embryo this organism belongs. That means what it indicates that all these vertebrates have a common origin, have a common ancestor. So all these vertebrates have evolved from a common ancestor. That is evidence from the embryology. Now we will see evidences from connecting links. What are connecting links? The organisms which possess the characters of two different groups between which they are transitional are called as connecting links. For example, if you see a bird that is Archaeopteryx, here it has some characters of birds, like it has rounded cranium and it has beak and feathers. That means these are showing a bird characters, and they are also showing some reptilian characters, like they have free fingers and they have teeth and they have long tail. That means these organisms we cannot decide it is a bird, but because it is showing some reptilian characters, and we cannot decide this is a reptile because it is showing some avian characters, that is bird characters. Such organisms which are intermediate between two groups, that means for example Archaeopteryx, if you are seeing, it is showing both reptile characters and bird characters. That means it is intermediate between the two groups of organisms. Such organisms are called as connecting links. Even we can see the example diploid fish, that is, those are lungfishes. They are intermediate between fish and amphibians. That means what it indicates that here these organisms, what we are saying connecting links, as they are formed from the common ancestors, they are that's why we cannot decide in which group we have to place them. Such type of organisms are called as connecting links. Next, in the next class we will see the other evidences of evolution. Thank you.